This video is an introduction to one of Stratmore's well-known products, Aquella. This is a powder-based on-white cement together with a hardening accelerator. The main application of Aquella is for waterproofing internal subgrade walls and floors in basements, tunnels, lift wells, and so on. It is mixed with water and applied to the inside of damp concrete walls and floors. It unites with the substrate and, over time, it sets to a rock-hard surface which is watertight from both sides and prevents the passage of water. It can be used on uncoated concrete, unglazed brick, mortar, cement rendering, breeze blocks, stucco, roughened stone and terracotta tiles, but not on gypsum, plaster, metals, timber, bituminous, whitewashed or painted surfaces, or any surface which has been treated with silicone or other water repellents or had bitumen-based products applied. Before you start, and to ensure the successful performance of this product, please follow the instructions on the label, the technical data sheet, the supplementary application instructions, and the safety data sheet. Correct preparation, application and curing are very important to a successful outcome. In addition, it is important to use clean, uncontaminated water, as many impurities, particularly rust, can retard or prevent the setting of Aquella. Ensure the surface is free of dust, dirt, mold, algae, oil, grease or any other contaminant. Any standard method of cleaning, depending on the contaminants present, is acceptable. However, please note that if an acid wash is used, it is very important that this should be completely neutralized and rinsed out, otherwise the Aquella will not set. This means washing the surface many times with clean water and ideally neutralizing any residual acid with a solution of washing soda and water, then flushing clean. Since Aquella requires a thoroughly saturated surface to apply to, in other words no standing water, you can start on the Aquella application as soon as the final flushing has occurred. If the surface of the concrete is discolored or stained, for example from rust, then Aquella will not prevent these from continuing to occur, and they may well impact on the effectiveness of its performance. Being bright white, Aquella may show these impurities more clearly when applied. The equipment you will need: a plastic pail, either 4 litre or 20 litre, depending on the quantity to be mixed. Measuring containers to measure the correct quantities of water and Aquella. A flat stick for stirring the mixture. Dust mask and safety glasses. A soft hearth brush or broom if there's a large area to be covered, so you can apply the Aquella. A drop cloth if required. A hose, hand sprayer or backpack sprayer set to a fine mist to cure the Aquella. On most substrates, a kilogram of Aquella will cover between 1 to 1.5 square meters, depending on the porosity of the substrate and the desired thickness to be applied. As a general guide, the colour of the substrate or any pattern on the substrate should not be visible through the coating when applied, but do not apply too thickly. One coat applied at the correct thickness should be sufficient. The coat is not meant to be aesthetic. It is important to use the proper application method to ensure the Aquella is pushed into the substrate. Before mixing the Aquella, close all doors and windows to prevent drafts or wind movement, which will tend to dry out the substrate and the Aquella. Protect the surfaces from any wind and sun as much as possible. Saturate all surfaces with clean water until no more is absorbed, but not so much that it pools on the surface or runs down walls. It is important to maintain this moist state during and after application. Mix in a sheltered area away from wind or air movement which may disperse the powder into the air. Wear a dust mask while mixing Aquella, as the powder contains crystalline silica which can cause silicosis after long-term exposure. After the powder has been wetted out and there is no more loose powder in the air, the mask can be safely removed, but it is advisable to wear safety glasses during application in case of splashing. Measure out 2 parts by volume of Aquella and 1 part of clean water into a separate container. Any suitable measuring container will do, such as a measuring cup or a scoop, or even a clean tin can. Slowly add the pre-measured powder in portions to the water, then mix. This way you will get a feel for when the correct consistency has been achieved, and it will be easier to prevent the formation of lumps. Keep adding Aquella to the mix until a creamy consistency is obtained, which will not sag on vertical surfaces. The mix ratio is approximate, and if required, it is permissible to add a little more or less powder to achieve the desired consistency. Stir the Aquella from time to time and check that it has not started to set in the mixing container. Do not use material that has started to set. Leave the mix to stand for 10 minutes, and during this time check to see that the substrate has not dried out. Spray more water on any surface which has dried out and shelter from wind or any sun or air movement, which will tend to dry out the Aquella prematurely. The mixed Aquella must be applied within half an hour, as it sets much faster than normal concrete and even faster on a warm day. Apply using a brush or broom in a circular motion while pressing down, working the mixture into the pores of the substrate. Apply sufficient Aquella, then finish off using parallel brush strokes to give a good smooth finish without ridges or depressions. Remember, do not brush on like you would when painting a house. Use brush strokes that work the Aquella into the substrate. 1 to 2 hours after application, when the Aquella has set sufficiently hard, mist the Aquella with clean water using an airless garden sprayer, or suitable, a garden hose set to fine mist. Ensure that the Aquella is not so soft that it is washed away when doing this. When applying to large areas, ensure that the first area has not dried out by the time the application is finished. To speed up the process, it may be necessary to ask someone to help you. Premature drying out of Aquella during the setting phase will result in a weak, powdery film, which will not function correctly in stopping the passage of water. In extreme cases, it will not adhere properly and will come off. For the next 48 hours, continue misting the Aquella with water at regular intervals. Drying may be slowed by keeping doors and windows shut and covering the coating loosely with plastic, if practicable, to maintain humidity in the surrounding air and slow down drying. Avoid applying Aquella during rapid drying conditions. Aquella is not designed as a surface for use in areas subject to wear, for example, where foot traffic occurs. However, it may be overcoated with any suitable hard-wearing concrete paint or resilient floor covering. If carpet is used, it must be glued, not tacked on. Do not penetrate the Aquella with any nails or screws, as any penetrations will permit the passage of water and moisture. Use water to clean all equipment and any spills before the Aquella sets. Any Aquella which has set can easily be removed with Stratmore's Mystic Acid or the milder Stripcrete, which is more suitable for cleaning tools.